Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. It is so great to see you here. It's Wednesday, but it feels like a Friday. And I think it's because I'm going out. I don't usually like to go out early in the week or anything like that, but my landlord's dad, and he's the cutest guy. He's like 80, I guess. And he was telling me about how one of his kids, so like my landlord's brother, so my landlord lives in London, but one of her brothers lives in Paris. And so he's a comedian. And so the dad was inviting me to come to the show. And I said, you know what, I'll take a look and I'll see if it's possible. So turns out it's possible and I'm going to go ahead. I bought a ticket to support him. So I'm really looking forward to that. Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to see y'all filing in. Nice to see y'all. Kristen is here. Kristen, how did the surgery go? Do you have any updates for us? We were praying for you yesterday. Hopefully you have good news. We've got a new channel member by the name of Justice. Welcome, Justice. Nice to have you here. I think I saw Ronnie had joined, but it doesn't show in StreamYard for some reason. So shout out to you too, Ronnie, for joining. Stephanie, they gasped when I saw your message. So first of all, she said, thanks for putting me on to that 645 song. So it's a song by, what was her name? I completely forgot her name. Let me take a look. It's a song by this Haitian artist that I keep on seeing on my TikTok. And I absolutely love her now after finding her there. Her name is Naika. And those of you like who are looking for new music, definitely check her out. And so Stephanie also says, I love it. And the timing couldn't be any better. Mon mari a fait des bêtises. Genre, she's saying that her husband did some things that were not great. Steph, I am pissed to hear that. I am pissed. On doit faire quoi? Tu veux qu'on le tape ou quoi? Parce que moi, je suis prête. What do we do? Do you want us to beat his behind? Because I am ready, girl. You know, I hope, you know, that it's something that you can forgive. J'espère que c'est quelque chose que tu peux pardonner. And, you know, in either case, we're here, Team Stephanie, always. So sorry to hear that. But I'm happy that like the song is helping you get through it. You know, that's the beautiful thing about music is that, you know, the music acts as like the soundtrack to our lives, you know, during happy times, sad times, anxious times, triumphant times. And so, you know, I'm happy that, you know, that song can serve as that for you. Shem Jem's in the building. Brittany's here. Monique is here. Venetia, Ronnie, Kristen Rose. Hold my foot, Joe. Ali, Cynthia, sweet bonjour. Jocelyn is here. Nisha, Nicole. Wow, we're getting so many new faces too. Good morning to the new faces. Jocelyn, Nisha, Nicole, 3 newbies. And Amethyst here as well. Wow, and Ashley is back as well. She's hiding in the bathroom, making my husband our anniversary gift. How sweet is that? That is adorable. Happy anniversary, Ashley. How many years are you guys celebrating now? And isn't 1 + 1 good? Thank you guys so much for that. That was East Awesome, I think, who had shouted that out. So shout out to East Awesome for that. And Ramster, when you come in here, I want to thank you for Zaz's song, Jardin des Larmes. You know, I was telling her, oh my God, I'm scared. I don't want a sad song. But you know what? It's actually really beautiful. And I love the way that they mixed French with German as well. That's a combination I had never heard. So that was really, really cool. So thank you for that. Oh, East Awesome is here. Caroline is here. Kahara, Jaleesa, Delcinia, Chip Cheerio, Brittany. Wow. Good morning, you guys. So Stephanie has an update. Let's hog tie him. I can forgive him, but I need my time. Oof, I am so sorry, Stephanie. I hope that today's episode manages to cheer you up. We are all here for you. We love you, Stephanie. You've got this, girl. Kem's here as well. Good morning to you, Kem. Guys, we've got a lot to discuss on today's morning report. And I have to tell you, I was like, a Tamera Mowry controversy was never in my morning report bingo card. Yeah, here we are. Another thing that I was not exactly expecting either was Tyra Banks returning to the modeling world, like unretiring. Here's something that I'm not surprised about, though, and it's Real Housewives of Potomac star Karen Huger shirking responsibility for her fourth DUI. We'll get into that. And then, of course, we've got to talk about Luigi Mangione and the latest motion that his lawyers are filing. It looks like they want to get this case thrown out, and they might have the technical grounds to do so. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that front. And lastly, as like an impromptu conversation, I want to talk to you guys as well. I don't even have the photos uploaded for this because I was just like watching it last minute as I was doing my nails. I want to talk to you guys about last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I gotta say, I was kind of disturbed. I felt like kind of like disgusting and dirty watching the way that Sutton treated Dorit. Dorit is not my favorite person. She's not a lot of people's favorite person. However, just the way that Sutton treated her was very, very ugly. And I'm looking forward to talking about it with you guys. Ashley is celebrating 3 years married, 12 years together. Congratulations. And I hope you guys have an amazing anniversary celebration. How sweet of you. Hiding off and preparing that gift. So beautiful. Denise is here. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Jessica. Tadisha. Good morning, Millie. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Theo's here. Hey, Theo. Nice. It looks like the gang's all here. I think we're still missing some people as well, though. I haven't seen I have her picture in my mind, but I forgot her username. But when she comes here, I will remember her. Houston Rose, we're missing. And then there's someone else. I'm so sorry, but I'll recognize her when she comes by. So you guys, can we get into the Tamera Mowry of it all? How do you guys feel about the Mowry twins? Before I get into the scandal, I know that there are people who like are very much like team one or the other. I personally am team both. Okay. I know that they both have their moments where they could be a little bit like off. Okay. But we all have our moments when we can be a little bit off or we could be a little bit problematic. It's just part of the human experience, right? But now it really seems like Tamera might have stepped in it and she's getting exposed by her former personal trainer. I've got videos, I've got screenshots, I've got photos. I've got it all. Let's get into this, you guys. It hurts my heart because Tamera, I always saw her as like the cute, sweet one, and it is true that her husband, Adam Housley. So, before I get into the story, let's kind of tee up the situation of her husband. Her husband has said a lot of very like disturbing things over the past few years, including do you remember when teenage Trayvon Martin was profiled and, killed by the neighborhood watchman, right? And somehow the neighborhood watchman got off on those charges. Adam, who is married to a biracial Black woman and has some children who are part Black, he was championing the man who went out of his way to randomly assassinate a teenager who was minding his own business, right? So that's when we all first started going, oh, wait a minute. There's something weird about this. How like this doesn't make any kind of sense, right? And then most recently, he went on some sort of a rant against people using food stamps and saying that they were only using it to like buy junk food. And then like they were also buying like alcohol, all sorts of things. And he said that these were things that he noticed as a 13-year-old, which is very weird that a 13-year-old would be pocket watching people or to really understand like any of this stuff, right? So he just has a lot of hatred in his heart, it seems like, for poor people, for people of color, and just anybody who is not him, right? Who is a person who comes from. And here's the thing, because a lot of people are dragging Tamera right now, right? And so in doing so, they're resurfacing old clips of hers. So we were always sold the story that Adam comes from a rich family, they own a vineyard, they own a grocery store, like all sorts of things. So tell me why I was minding my own business yesterday at like 1 a.m. when I should have been sleeping, scrolling through Instagram, when I find clips of Tamera proudly boasting about how she paid for her wedding to that man entirely. I found that to be very odd, right? So this man doesn't like people getting anything for free. He comes from this family with all this money. He makes his own money, like, as a reporter and whatnot. And he's having his wife pay for that wedding entirely. I found that to be weird, right? So that was one thing that she had said. And then in the next season, or in another conversation about that wedding, she changes the story and claims that she, Adam, and different family members all like contributed to it. I don't know where the truth lies. I personally am of the belief that Tamera paid for it all, in which case, why? Why? I feel like it's one thing if you're marrying someone who doesn't have the money, right? And like you're this big star, okay, go for it, whatever. But this guy supposedly has money. So why would he let you, pay for it all? Like, I feel like it's weird. Anyway, so that's kind of like a little bit of like the background on him. And forget the wedding thing. That's just me like getting distracted and bringing up something that has like no relevance to the story. Okay. So back to the personal trainer, right? So Tamera's former personal trainer is named Nita Sodefkist. Sorry, I probably butchered her name. And she has a lot to say about Tamera. She says that Tamera isn't the sweet girl you think she is. She says that Tamera shares the same ideology as Adam, which again is a very hateful ideology. It seems to be anti-Black. It seems to be anti, people who are struggling, right? And it's a very kind of like classist ideology, right? And she went on video, posted this TikTok about how, based off of working with Tamera and being close with her formerly for years, she knows that Tamera shares the same views. Take a look.
I was Tamera's trainer for like 3.5 years. And, I started working with her when we were in Los Angeles, and I would even go to the talk show. I would go out of my way, drive all the way from Malibu, just to take care of her. I fixed a lot of her spine issues. But here's the long story short. Yes, there is a lot I could expose. There's a lot I could share. But at the end of the day, I gave it to God and I walked away from her. But I'm just going to let you know this. And I don't have to show you receipts. I'm letting you know she agrees with everything with Adam. And she is not who she shows herself being. I mean, I wish she could just be honest about it. Okay? That's it. That's all I can tell you.
So there you go. I want to know how y'all feel about that. So at first I went, okay, can we even verify that this person really was Tamera's friend and trainer, right? So I went, did some digging on the gram, and what do I find? This is a photo. Remember when you used to have like the Regram app and stuff to like reshare people's like Instagram posts? So she shared this one that Tamera had tagged her in, right? And so in it, Tamera is speaking very highly of her and how she helped transform her body, help her with pain, and just really helping her tone up and everything, right? So she shared that. So there's confirmation that she did indeed work with Tamera. And then when it comes to the type of person that this woman is, right? Tamera's former trainer, Anita, she is someone who goes and champions for immigrants, right? And migrants and whatnot. And she preaches about loving all people. She speaks up against, white privilege and things like that. So it really seems like she walks the walk. And this is not exactly like a performative thing for her, right? Take a look at this other, image that she shared talking about making America kind again, all sorts of things. She really seems to have a good heart. And so, just based off of that, I'm going to say, you know what, girl, I believe you. And that's not all that she had to say, actually, about Tamera. Let's get into some of the other screenshots that I picked up in the comment section of the video, right? So somebody said, wow, Tamera Mowry, Proverbs chapter 12, verse 22, and then another chapter and verse to look into. Anita said, one of the reasons I left her was she utilized Jesus Christ, Bible verses, and God as she betrayed people. And that is the biggest sin. And I can't be a part of that. Another thing that she had said was in response to someone saying that we can tell this by her and Tia's relationship. Their kids aren't even growing up together for real. They're twins. That's very uncommon. To which Nita responds, which breaks my heart. It's always a show. Everything you see their pictures, always a show. No one really knows behind the scenes, but I was there. I saw it. And then she also said, someone commented, now everyone can leave Tia alone for being herself, shaking my head. Nita, you are so correct. And it's really sad because their mother plays a role in using them against each other. Now, that is something that is new to me. I have heard criticisms about how weird it is that the twins are, not super close. Their kids are barely seeing each other. Tamera's not really all that present right now, like supporting her twin sister through a divorce. She didn't even know that her twin sister was filming a reality show about her divorce. obviously something is off there, right? And we've all been talking about it online for years now, or at least months at the very least. And so that's something I hadn't seen, though, about the mom playing a role in the division. And so someone said, what's wrong with being one with her husband? Nita said, you should look up Adam Housley and what he just said about people on food stamps. I don't think a white privileged man should ever speak that way, and his wife stands with him as well. So it seems as though the Sweet Girl Act is just that, an act. She doesn't actually care about, people who are struggling in life. And, I'm going to come back to the comments that you guys are leaving. Thank you so much, by the way, for leaving them in the live chat. But there was one that flew by earlier where someone said, like, it's crazy that he would be judging what, like, people who are just trying to get by are spending the little money that they get on, right? And, I do agree with that. And so Bilal says, don't you mean Tamega? And then Nita responded with the laughing emojis. She is done with Tamera. She wants nothing to do with her. And she is really letting it be known that, she's not who the world thinks that she is. And she's letting it be known that, it's all a performance. Even when they get together with Tamera on occasion, they really do not mess with each other like that behind the scenes. And I want to know how you guys feel about that, which of course I am about to make my way over to the comment section to see what some of y'all have been saying. Thank you so much to Ashley for becoming a new member to the channel. So excited to share the exclusives with you. Hey Trent, nice to see you. Trent, we've missed you around these parts. How you doing? Trent with the super chat, thank you so much. Trent says, it's crazy to me that this isn't obvious. People don't use their own money to marry someone they don't share the same values with. Exactly. I agree with that. I feel like, you know what? You might not share 100% of the same ideology, values, or whatever with your spouse or your friends or whatever. But to full-blown marry someone, I think that typically you're at least, or at least I would hope that you align on at least like the most important things, right? And it seems like to Adam, punching down on poor people is a very important, part of his identity and his life. So it definitely does make me look at Tamera differently. And, I'm still shook. I'm still shook by it all. And, again, the fact that she paid for that wedding, that entirely is crazy to me. This man is supposed to come from this rich family. He's supposed to be against people getting things for free. And you're giving him a wedding for free after you have to beg and cry, scream, and throw up for him to marry you and break up with him, run around town dropping it like it's hot so that he'd miss you and stuff. Like, girl. Oh my God. But you know what, Chip Cheerio, Tia met her husband at the bus stop. So like her marrying him and paying for the wedding, that's not surprising to me anyway. I'm just saying. Theo says, it's ironic that so many Fox News hosts like him come from affluent families and go on to complain about how they hate giving out handouts to poor people. Hypocrites. And I completely agree. Like a lot of people just do not see the hypocrisy in their actions. And it's just wild to me sometimes, especially when it comes to this sort of thing. Oh, East Awesome says in West Indian culture, the woman's family pays for the basic wedding. I had no idea about that. Thank you for educating us on that. That's crazy. Oh, because she's Bahamian, right? Through her mom. So maybe that was one of the traditions that they had going on there, I guess. I don't know. Brittany says, I love them both growing up. Actually, my kids and I watched 17 again this past weekend, but they're giving a lot of cringe lately. And I agree, Britt. I tried to watch Tamera's new show that she released late last year, and it was just so heavy. And I get it. She's going through a hard time, but it was like not enjoyable at all to watch. So I stopped, and she won't like stop talking about this divorce, which, it's sad that she's going through it, but I wish she would, champion other more positive things that she's got going on in life in addition to sharing about this. But she's all about this right now. And it is true that Tamera, just based off of who her husband is, I'm looking at her funny too. Star says, I don't think she paid for it all because on the show when they met with the wedding planner, she consulted him to raise the budget. Then I wonder why she would go sit up on that show and brag about paying for that wedding, right? Very, very odd. Ooh, we got another interesting comment here. Precious says, Tia made an MLK post for his birthday. Tamera didn't. Ooh. Yo, I love the way y'all clock these twins. East says, Tamera was hinting at her conservative views on her old talk show, but she's never been outspoken. Don't let me find out that Tam Tam is a new Candace Owens and donating to fascists. You know what I will tell you on that front to you, East Awesome, and everybody else watching? Don't be surprised if one day The View comes knocking And then Tamera goes full blown mask off, because they do always need like one of those types of women on the show to really like, have the arguments and the discussions and the debates that show is so famous for, right? Milan says that's why Tamera and Lonnie are not close anymore. You think so? So she was hiding it initially, like, kind of closeted, and then eventually she came out with it. Listen, that happened to me and one of my friends. I had a good friend here, for a couple of years. And then when things started getting really bad with like the genocide and everything, and then she told me that like all Palestinians kind of deserve to get exterminated. I said, oh, wow, we can't be friends. Like, that is a very, very scary way to look at people, and just, wow. And I'm still shaken up by that, and it's been well over a year. So I understand, and I imagine that was difficult for Lonnie, because Lonnie loved Tamera. She loved those kids. She loved that family, right? And so like, I don't think that it's for no reason at all. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case there. Hold My Foot Joe says, I had no idea. This makes me sad. As a woman of color, it seems like maybe Tamera is struggling with self-hatred. I wouldn't, something that always struck me as really weird about her, Hold My Foot Joe, and my mother even thought the same thing, and she made fun of her for it for the longest time, was when they were doing the genealogy tests on The Real, and then she found out that she had like some of her ancestors were slaves. And I was like, how out of touch are you? You are part Bahamian. How did you think that they got there? Like, what? Like, it was the weirdest thing ever. So she definitely is at least like halfway out of touch there. And it's sad. I think that is a negative testament to her upbringing finally. So good luck to her. I don't know if she's going to address these like complaints or these rumors or this video. She no longer has the platform of The Real to get up there. I remember the last time that people were talking about her husband. What did she do? She went up there neck rolling, which I thought was weird. I felt like it was a weird character, right? She was like, my husband is not a racist. I was like, girl, you don't even talk like that. Why are you it was very, very weird. So there are a lot of very odd things in like the Tamera universe of it all. But I do think that she's going to ignore this and hope that it gets swept under the rug, because that is how the news cycle works, right? We get outraged about something. There's a controversy, but it disappears within days, weeks maximum, but within days typically. So I do personally think, as a former PR girly, it's in her best interest to just lay low, be quiet, and not to address this. And I do also agree with Millie, which is that, it would be really, really difficult, right? As a woman of color, a Black woman, to be with a man who held these sorts of views. I don't know how she does it. I would be disgusted. And I think just as a person in general, someone who is so rich has never really known struggle, looking down on people who only know struggle, right? For buying junk food. And I'm sorry, but isn't that half of the modern American diet anyway, junk food? Like, why can you buy junk food, but someone who's poor does not have that same right to buy junk food? Like, leave people alone. Oh my God. Anyway, y'all, I'll keep an eye on this story. I really do not think that Tamera is going to come out and address it. But if she does, I definitely will be here on a morning report to talk about it with you guys. By the way, if you're enjoying this episode of the Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you enjoy my content and you want to be notified the next time I go live. Why don't we get into our next story, y'all? Okay. Hey, actually, before we get into it, Gwen says, it's scary how often women stay married to guys who openly hate so many people, and they're shocked when it turns out their husband hates them too. Perfect note to leave that story on. It's a very leopard ate my face kind of a situation, isn't it? Like, just that kind of toxicity is just, it's not healthy, and it's not sexy at all. Let's get into the Tyra Banks of it all, you guys. The supermodel has decided to go ahead and get back into the modeling world, and I am so happy for her. This is a cover that she shot for Essence magazine in her announcement that she's returning back to the modeling world. Guys, did you like Tyra Banks as a model? Are you excited to see her back in the modeling world? Because I always did, and I'm excited about it. I love when like women continue to just like do whatever it is that they want to do, right? Like as they're older, not just to disappear the way that the mainstream media or the press or society wants for us to do. I think that the spread that she shot with Essence was absolutely beautiful. She is smizing, like she's always been smizing, like she is so photogenic, it's crazy. And I think that this is my favorite photo of the entire spread. So congratulations to you, Tyra. And I'm personally happy to see her back. And I like that she's refusing to just disappear with all of the people who are trying to shame her for things that she did like 20 years ago that, you know, by today's standards are off, of course. But back then it was a completely different world, right? So I like that she's just not shying away and she's staying out here and she's doing what she's passionate about and what she's extremely talented at. So she talks about her life as an entrepreneur, and I quote, "Being an entrepreneur is extremely stressful. I don't sleep. I'm hot flashing now, so I wake up in the middle of the night many times and I just work because I'm jolted awake. It's entrepreneurship. Boom, 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 constantly. But when I'm on a set, it's almost zen because I am not in charge." And you know what? I gotta say that I appreciate Tyra Banks and other middle-aged women like Halle Berry as well, talking about menopause, because I don't remember, and maybe because I was much younger back in the day. I'm still young, but not young enough that I'm not thinking about these sorts of things now, right? So I really love that they're being outspoken and honest about what it's like. You know, Halle Berry has even developed a community, an online website for resources for women who are dealing with menopause, and she's developed products to help with menopause. So I think that that is absolutely incredible, and I love that. You know, they're not ashamed, they're not shying out, because there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just a part of life, you know. And unfortunately, we as women, we have it hard in life as far as our bodies are concerned. We are always going through some sort of pain, and it's brutal, right? And so again, she is coming back into the modeling world, and this was her announcement of it. And I think that she's even going to be tweaking America's Next Top Model a little bit, and reviving that as well. And that was another iconic project that she worked on. Listen, I didn't keep up too much with Tyra's modeling career, okay? Like, I remember looking at the photos and everything like that, but I wasn't really huge into it. However, one thing that I've always loved and admired about her was how entrepreneurial she was and how she always wanted to learn everything, you know? And I think that that's something that always inspired me in my own journey through life. And so, for example, when she did the America's Next Top Model, right? Again, it had its problematic moments and stuff, but like she was still like a woman creating a massive like television dynasty and franchise. And she did her talk show. Then she went to Harvard, right, to do that course and stuff. She opened the door for, remember when all of a sudden all the celebrities were like bragging about going to Harvard? Meanwhile, they were doing these like 30-day courses and stuff. It was, listen, the photo shoot she did for it was funny. Okay, it was funny. It was funny for a 30-day course. The way she was like doing the photo shoots in the library, like she's studying so hard. It's so difficult, you know. It was, but I love that she did that. And then when she was having her son, she wanted to like make sure that he was eating nutritious, good food. So what did she do? She enrolled in like culinary courses and stuff like that. She was always enrolling in things and trying to learn. And I'm just so passionate about that myself. And so I love it. And I'll always admire her for that as well. So shout out to you, Tyra. I'm excited about what you've got coming out for us in the future. Theo says, we all know Tyra is too delusional to allow all the social media hate to affect her self-esteem. The good sis is confident to a fault. And you know what? En parlant de ça, speaking of that, why don't we talk about one of the most iconic Tyra Banks moments? Do you remember when she had Miley Cyrus on her show? And so she had Miley Cyrus on her show, and she wanted to give Miley Cyrus a gift. What did she give to Miley Cyrus? A framed photo of Tyra Banks. She said, you know what? Like, I really want to wish you a great birthday. And so I got you a gift. It's super duper special to me. Here it is. a frame photo of me. Like, that is just so iconic and hilarious. And I love that, right? And then there was another one when Chanel Iman, remember, she was doing this thing about like, the models of today, tomorrow, or whatever. And so for Chanel Iman, like it was another kind of like gift where it was like a thing of Tyra. She's like, I'm passing this key to you because I've designated myself like the queen of the models of like my generation, despite Naomi Campbell, despite what's the name of that girl who dated, what's the name? She's got like a, what's her name? Get the London look. What, Kate Moss. Despite the Kate Moss, despite the Cindy Crawford, Tyra has announced herself, declared herself the best of that generation. And so she gave her key to the city or whatever to Chanel Iman. Like she's just so out to lunch and I love it. Absolutely hilarious. Hold my foot, Joe. I said no cookies. Absolutely. Only rich people need brownies. I can't believe people are debating over what poor people can and cannot eat. Listen, what poor people can and cannot eat does not actually impact us. The real things that are impacting us right now are the people setting up AI to come and take all of our damn jobs. Okay. Oh my God. I love that comment though. The sarcasm is killing me. Hold my foot, Joe. I agree. Now there was something else. Like he says, Tyra is too ridiculous and that's why I love her. Exactly. Me too. We were talking about Hilaria Baldwin on this channel in the yesterday's morning report. And I said, I feel like what she's doing there with like the fake Spanish background and the fake accent and the this and that, I see it as performance art. And so when you look at it that way, it's just entertaining, right? Theo says Tyra loves the gays and the gays love Tyra. MDL, absolutely love kooky people. And she definitely was one of the first for me. You don't really see too many Black kooky people like that. So I love that she's like free. She feels free to be that way. Now let's get into another, here's another Black kooky person. Let's get into Karen Huger from the Real Housewives of Potomac, shall we? As it was exposed, Karen Huger actually is on her 4th DUI. The prosecutors, wasn't her sentencing hearing the other day? I have to go and look online if that information has come out yet about what she was sentenced to. But prosecution actually wanted to go really lenient on her. She is eligible for like years in prison, but they are only seeking 6 months for her. And so Karen, per usual, she is not taking full responsibility for what happened. She's actually blaming everything on Bravo and the Real Housewives of Potomac. Her lawyers have argued, and I quote, Ms. Huger's mother died on Thanksgiving morning in 2017 of kidney failure and sepsis. Her father died 7 months later on June 28th, 2018 from the complications of Alzheimer's and of a broken heart. Those 2 losses in quick succession were for Ms. Huger personally devastating and, in her opinion, may have been the straws that broke her back, arguably leading to several errors in judgment that led to her arrest in this case. However, again, her mom, rest her soul. This is sad, right? Died in 2017. Her dad died in 2018. She was arrested in 2023. And that wasn't the first time. It's not like this is out of the ordinary for her. This was her 4th DUI. And she started racking up the DUIs well before her parents died. So I personally do not understand how this could be used as an excuse, but I digress. Her legal team continued on to say, Ms. Huger reports that it was during the trial that she first saw the body camera footage of her demeanor and coordination. She had suffered a concussion from the exploding airbags, along with the alcohol and medication. So apparently she never saw the footage, which I'm not sure I agree with. I believe that it was already confirmed previously that she was shown the footage, right, before she went and rejected the plea deal. But okay. And so she's explaining away her behavior, which was out there bragging about being lit after crashing her car, calling people poor and white, bragging about her association with Andy Cohen, Bravo, and everything like that, and talking about being George Jefferson's concubine. Now all of that is because she diagnosed herself with a concussion from an exploding airbag. And it feels so weird to me as a former La Dame to be speaking about the Grande Dame like this. But I am just so tired of her. I am tired of her lies. I am tired of just like her deflections and everything like that. At this point, I see what everybody else has been saying about her for years, right, on that show. So I'm over it, and it feels like I'm a Karen hater, but it's not true. My tried and true co-reporters who've been tuning into the Morning Report since we started back in December know that I loved me some damn Karen Huger, y'all. I really, really did. So I'm sad that things have even come this way. I'm looking at the comments now. Y'all are saying she's being sentenced today. Okay, well, I'll take a look. Look, I'm already dressed. Do I not look formal like I'm going to court to see what's happening with Ms. Huger? I'll keep an eye out. What do you guys think is going to happen to her? Again, prosecution is seeking only 6 months. And I actually think that in them looking to sentence her to something so light already, I think the judge might even go ahead and say, you know what? I think that's reasonable. Let's go ahead and give her the 6 months, right? Again, this was her 4th DUI, you guys. It's not the first time. Ali says, well, it's a tragedy that her parents have passed. She should have received therapy as this occurred in 2024. Exactly. Her DUI, the latest one, happened 7 years after the passing of her parents. It's sad that happened, but 7 years. Stop it. East Awesome says, Karen would see the footage in the discovery process. Such a liar. She needs to go to jail. There she goes, lying again. And this is why I just cannot with her anymore. I can't. Hi, Jen. Nice to see you again. Now let's see. And thank you, Ken. That is so nice of you. Let's see the rest of what it is that her lawyers try to argue for her. Okay. So again, now they're saying that she had a concussion. Did she ever actually claim to have a concussion, or was she diagnosed with one? I do not think so, because that was not something that was presented in courts. Okay. So, Ms. Huger reports that it was during the trial that she first saw, okay, she suffered a concussion, okay. The court will also note that Ms. Huger did not testify at trial. For many months, Ms. Huger was hoping to explain that she believed she drank in moderation. However, her difficulties that evening were the product of a combination of alcohol and a prescribed antidepressant medication for depression. However, Ms. Huger eventually acquiesced to the legal advice of her counsel, indicating that such circumstances might be mitigation, but is not a defense. This is because the taking of such a strong antidepressant medication can amplify the effects of alcohol on one's coordination. The taking of that prescribed medication is not a defense to DUI. To the contrary, it's more of a reason to avoid consuming alcohol before driving. Not her legal team dragging her. Not her legal team dragging her. Okay, I thought they were supposed to be helping her. Okay. Ms. Huger reports when she started taking the prescribed dosages of the medication following her grape in college, she felt she was able to continue to drink in moderation in social settings. However, over time, the loss of her parents and the pressures of being in the public eye, and here's where she blames Bravo, right? Pressures of being in the public eye, stress of providing responsible leadership on the TV show continued to wear out her well-being. Over time, the dosages of the medication went up, probably beyond prescribed recommendations, but the drinking in moderation remained the same. As she explains, quote, I was taking 1 pill after the assault, and then I began taking 2 after my parents' death. I appeared to be in control and had no noticeable issues that I was aware of. So she's been on these antidepressants since her assault in college. And she's been drinking moderately since she was on these medications. Then how did she rack up the 3 DUIs before her parents' passing, right? Because now we're saying that it's her upping the dosage of her medication since the passing of her parents. But what about before? She was on the medication. She was supposedly drinking responsibility. How did she get 3 DUIs? How? I really hope that the state pokes some holes in all of these damn lies that she is peddling and all of these excuses. Lenny says she needs to go to jail and learn a lesson. Otherwise, she'll keep doing it again. If she does it again, increase the jail time. I agree. 4 DUIs is inexcusable, y'all. Brandon, it's inexcusable. It is. She needs to go to jail. In fact, she was so flippant when she was speaking to the cops in the detention center, right? She was saying, oh, well, they'll probably give me 30 days. I'm rich and famous. Give her the 30 days she wanted. Vera says she needs to go to jail. It's the best thing for her. She went to a spa, not a treatment center. No accountability. Next time she does this, it could be fatal to her or someone else. And I agree. They've given her 3 chances to get it together already. And the third one, they actually got it dropped to some kind of reckless driving instead of the DUI that it was initially. It's too much. Too much. Also, the judge could still give her the 2 years. You know what? But I think the judge will go ahead and give her the 6 months. At least I hope. What are you guys hoping for? Let me go ahead and see. And no, Mary, she hasn't been formally sentenced yet, but today is the sentencing day. Ali says, I look for all of my leaders to have 4 DUIs minimum. Maybe she does have a brain injury. Oh my God, you guys are on a roll and I am here for it. Karen, girl, stop. And you know what? Because we were on Campire's channel with Layla on Monday, and we talked about this, right? We were talking about how maybe Campire was talking about how maybe Bravo can give her a breather so that she can get it together. And so we were like, oh, but listen, wait a minute. Other housewives have had DUIs and drinking arrests and stuff like that. Could that not open them up to a lawsuit if they were to fire, right, or put on pause the one Black housewife who has that sort of an issue, right? Because we saw Luann, she was fine. She even got the sit down and everything. We saw Shannon, she's still filming. So if they were to just go ahead and fire Karen, I think that would open up a discrimination suit, right? And so we were kind of thinking about that. But now, we're in her own words and in her legal team's own words, them saying that there's a lot of pressure in her being a leader on RHOP and the pressure of being a public facing person, famous, maybe now she's actually opened up a possibility for them to put her on pause, right? Because now she's saying, right, in court, sworn under oath or whatever, that this has not been good for her and that this has been detrimental to her, right? So very, very curious to see how this is going to affect her moving forward. The defense also said, in hindsight, she's concerned that the medication combined with alcohol impaired her ability to accurately assess her coordination on March 19th. During the trial, she could not turn off the testimony or the body cameras. She could not get up and walk out of the room nor look at her phone. The trial was a wake-up call that inspired Ms. Huger to take the dramatic step of entering a 28-day inpatient rehabilitation program, beachside in West Palm Beach. But listen, she said on RHOP that she's not an alcoholic, so I don't think she went to rehab. What would a non-alcoholic or a non-addict need to go to rehab for, right? The court is probably very familiar with dual diagnosis treatment programs. Ms. Huger refers to her time at the beachside, as a triple diagnosis program dedicated to treating alcohol abuse, drug medication abuse, and trauma. Ms. Huger took her last dose of the antidepressant medication on December 28th, the night before she checked into her residential program. She reports that 4 nights later, she woke up completely drenched in sweat and she went through withdrawal, her lawyer said. In response, the prosecutors pointed out she has 2 prior DUI, DWI convictions, plus a third one that was pled down to a reckless driving. Listen, Karen, you in danger, girl. You in danger. I don't think she's getting out of this one free, especially after that body cam footage. That body cam footage did her in, right? Rose says she needs to be punished, even if it's just probation. I agree. Hold My Foot Joe says 4 DUIs is wild work. That's a pattern of behavior at this point, and I agree. Theo, yeah, that's another one I agree with, right? That Luann basically got a promotion from Bravo when she got her DUI. So they have to tread very, very lightly when they deal with Karen as a result of the situation. And then remember, wasn't Teresa in jail for like a federal crime, like fraud or something? And they did like this whole special. Then they put her show on pause while she was serving her time at camp away or whatever. I don't know. Ellie says she entered an in-person spa weekend. And I agree. And prosecution says the same thing, that listen, like we're sick and tired of her playing in our face, like the lies, as Candy would say over on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And look who's back with another super chat. Whoop, whoop. Thank you for the super chat, Trent. Trent says Karen needs to go to the slammer so that Ray can get some relief after 2 decades of her hot mess. Hopefully he ends their lease and finally retires in Florida like he wants. Yes, I've been saying this. I think that Ray at this point should just go ahead, file for a divorce or whatever, even a separation, while Karen is in the slammer, or maybe when she gets out, and live his best life in Florida. Why be stuck in the DMV with Karen, who keeps on racking up these DUIs and embarrassing you, when he could be living his best life, right, on the golf courses of Florida? And you know what? Maybe that's something else that's causing Karen issues, right? Maybe she's got seasonal depression mixed in with depression and trauma and potential alcoholism. All of that is a recipe for disaster. I actually think that it would be best for Karen to even try living in a sunshine state for a little bit and see how that helps her with her mood and everything. You know, SAD is hard. It's really, really hard to deal with, right? So I think that this actually could help her even, right? If she were to follow him, and if not, whatever, right? And again, Karen is now saying in court that that being on the show is detrimental to her. So I think that's perfect ultimatum material for Ray. Like, you know, like, let's go. This is not, you know, helpful to you. You're getting into all of these issues and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. She got 3 DUIs when she was not even on the show. And now that she's on the show, she's actually only gotten 1 in 6 years. I actually think that the show might have been helping her. Just saying. Just saying. Ali, and he looks so tired, right? Like, I felt bad for him, like waking him up out of his slumber. And you know how I pictured Ray getting up and getting the news? I pictured him getting the news. And it was just such like a visual thing. So let me close my eyes and describe it to you. I pictured Ray sleeping, right? Like Dracula. And then he gets a call, and it's on the rotary thing, right? And he picks it up off the thing like this. Hello? Your wife, she's got another DUI again. Oh, damn it. And so he lights a candle on one of those things, and he's wearing like the pajamas. It's striped, long sleeve, right? And he has a little hat on too. And he's got his candles, and he's looking for like his shoes. And then he gets out of the house, and he's just like, oh, damn it. You know, he gets in his car, gets over there, and sees his wife, her wig sliding halfway off her head, her eyes like this. She's slurring her words. She reeks of booze. This is a man who worked so hard his entire life, right, to build a successful company and career and everything. And now he deserves to be living the time of his life. And his wife is just a mess, right? Y'all, did y'all feel that too? That's the vibe I got, y'all. That's the vibe I got. I said, oh man, not you making him light a candle. Listen, candles are expensive these days. Now you gotta light a candle and head on over, shuffle on over to figure out what the heck is happening with you. A mess. Star says, I need to take Grace's advice. I also get seasonal depression, but it's warmer this week. Oh, it's rough. Listen, y'all, that move to Spain is looking better and better by the day. We have nothing but rain here, and I am so over it. Angie, wow, what a cute little doggy. My sister has one of these dogs too. Her name, I don't know if it's a girl. It's a girl. Her name's Winky. If she was in rehab center, she wouldn't have woke you in sweats having withdrawals because they would have had her on meds to keep her from going through that. Oh, not her lies getting clocked. This is reminding me of when Mia's IVF lies got clocked on the reunion. Come through, Angie. Thank you for that. No, Millie, she's being sentenced today, but it hasn't happened yet. Keep an eye out, you guys. Keep an eye out. What are y'all? You know what? Listen, I think she's gonna get at least 6 months, minimum 1 month though. So I'm guessing anywhere from 1 to 6 months. Listen, maybe I should start a betting website so we could all bet on this. Justice for Ray, y'all. Free Ray Huger. I want him in sunny Florida. I can't imagine being stuck in the DMV, you know, when I want to be in Florida. And listen, Florida, it's got its fair share of problems, but like it's got the sun. And I feel like the sun makes up for a lot of problems in life, y'all. So I think this is his moment to go ahead and make the escape. And I think a lot of people would support him on this. Like, you know, maybe if it was only one DUI, if it were only one DUI, people would be like, come on, like it's too hasty. You don't throw away your marriage for that. But it's multiple DUIs and it's a whole host of other problems as well. And yeah, I don't know why, but this was the most visual like thing I had as soon as I heard about Ray or saw Ray on the cam. And then he swapped out his little like, kind of like Santa PJ hat for like the little fedora, the what do you call it? Indiana Jones fedora and stuff. Oh my God. And I love to hear it, Star. Oh, God. Thank you so much for tuning into the Morning Report every day. And welcome to my newbies as well. We do the Morning Report every single morning, weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about the day's hottest stories. So feel free to join us. We're also live, of course, tomorrow, Friday, next week, every single weekday as well. How many wicks does a candle have? You know what? Listen, it depends. Is he more Team Wendy or is he more Team Karen? I kind of think that maybe he might have 4 weeks. Listen, she is his wife after all. She is his wife. Guys, we've got a couple words from our sponsors. Then on the flip side, we're going to talk about Luigi Mangione's legal team filing a motion for dismissing the charges against him on the grounds of unlawfully obtained evidence. And we also have to talk about last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Give me a second. I'm going to sip my water. And we'll be right back. Make sure to like the stream if you're enjoying this episode so far, and I'll catch you on the flip side. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Rothia. Rothia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. Let's get into the Luigi Mangione story. New photos dropped. Ladies, let's go. And some gentlemen as well. We don't judge. Take a look at some of these new photos of Luigi Mangione that dropped. Oh, Lord have mercy. This man, he knows he's fine. I think he's doing this on purpose to ruffle our feathers, and it's working. It is working. I am catching myself fanning myself off every time new photos of this man drop. So there he was in court in the most beautiful cable knit sweater, by the way. The last one he wore, it was like a burgundy color. It sold out instantly. I haven't seen the news about this one. Maybe it's sold out. Is it Ralph Lauren again? I think they're going to have to sponsor him at this point. So he showed up in court and his lawyer, Thomas Dickey, he made a 23-page request for the charges against him to be dismissed. So they're saying that Luigi Mangione was frisked and surrounded by officers who gave him no indication that he was free to leave the restaurant until after he was under the unlawful detention and custodial interrogation for 17 minutes already. Quote, at no time did the officers indicate that Luigi was free to go, nor did they explain the reasons as to why he was being detained, other than that he looked suspicious and or overstayed his welcome as a customer at McDonald's. So basically, that was a violation of Luigi's right to due process and protection against unlawful searches and seizures under the Constitution's 4th and 14th Amendments. And while Luigi was there, y'all remember the body cam footage, right, of him in the dining area of the McDonald's. The lawyer said that more officers continued to arrive and surrounded the area, blocking his path of travel and the exit doors. They said that Luigi was patted down and his backpack was taken into the officer's possession during a period when Mangione believed that he was in custody. Quote, he would have had to pass no less than approximately 7 to 10 members of the Atlanta Police Department and or other law enforcement personnel to leave. No reasonable person would have believed that they were free to leave. Ooh. And apparently, they didn't even like search his backpack until like they made like a wall of police officers. And and then checked the backpack and declared that those items were in the backpack, you guys. And so they also forced him allegedly to answer a bunch of questions, even though he already shook his hand no, that he did not want to speak to law enforcement as well. And so, yeah, you guys, ooh, I don't know. How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel? Do you think that this could be some sort of like a miracle that helps Luigi Mangione get off on the charges? Or is it a little bit too good to be true? Let me know. Ooh, let me see what some of y'all are saying. I just know that y'all are cutting up. Oh yeah, first comment, we're already cutting up. We've got Allie. Hey, Poppy. Rose, he's fine. Millie, those brows. It's me, Angie. Hey there, Luigi. There you go. He's awesome says, remember, Luigi had a back. He can't beat up the cat. Meow. Oh, damn. Y'all are a damn mess, and I love it. Mary says, we let Casey Anthony and OJ go. We can let Luigi go too. Listen, right? Like, I feel like that's what everyone's hoping for, but it's always the people that you don't want free that go free and the people that you want free that stay in custody, right? Because at the end of the day, what Luigi did was open up this conversation. He shook the table about how, like, you know, the rest of the country or the world feels about the ruling class, the billionaires and everything like that. And so I do think that they want to make an example out of him and that they will pull out all the stops, do whatever necessary to lock him up for life. And they're upset that, like, the public does not hate him, right? They really wanted us to hate him. They did the perp walk and everything. And it only made us more attracted to him. And, you know, and his cause as well, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not just because he's beautiful, right? Because he is beautiful. But it's also what he's standing for that people are supporting, which is the fact that it's unfair that these insurance companies are able to just price gouge people and that these insurance companies are able to legally end people's lives by denying them coverage, right? And so, yeah, listen, I'm a Luigi girly. I'm a Luigi stan. And so I do want for him to get off on these charges. And I'm going to continue to hope here on the side. Theo says, McDonald's being the smoking gun. And the gag is the McDonald's employees who called didn't even get the reward money because he called 911 and not the Crime Stopper number that they had given up. Ali says, I mean, if Alec Baldwin can get off with a technicality, Papi Luigi should get off too. And you know what? Speaking of Papi Luigi, Ali, and everybody watching, I don't know if you saw this story come out yesterday, but people are sending him so many letters and so many photos that his spokesperson had to say, listen, y'all, thank you so much for all the photos, so for all the letters, but can we please limit it to 5 photos a person? People are going crazy over this man. And I'm happy that he knows that the public supports him and the public loves him, right? But oh my God, some of y'all are trying to get chose by him. I saw Stephanie say that love after lockup is in his future. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised because I just know that a bunch of those are like, women and men auditioning to be his husband or wife. Lord have mercy. Oh my God. Now let's get into our final story of the day, shall we? Now, you know what? Let me go back and read some of you guys' comments from a little bit earlier. I started some comments and I didn't get to read them. Jaleesa said, Ashley, because I commented on a video back in the day, called her corny. She's always lying on that show that she called me. Tamera Mowry called you a biatch, Jaleesa, because you said she was corny? I am shocked. Sorry that happened to you, but thank you for coming here with the tea because, whoa, I was not expecting that. I said no cookie says saying people who spend their food stamps on brownies and sodas is abusing the system, isn't being racist, and Mackenzie doesn't have an emergency Black boyfriend. Well, it's not about racism. It's about classism on that one, by the way. Okay, now let's get into our final story. And I actually don't even have a picture for it because it was a very impromptu thing. I only watched the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills casually while I was doing my nails, right? So what did you guys think about last night's episode? Normally, I'm kind of on Sutton. Don't love her, don't hate her. However, in last night's episode, the way that she treated Dorit was just so hard to watch, right? First of all, they kept on talking about this restaurant in Paris with all of the caviar. So I looked it up, and this restaurant is actually just up the street from me. I said, oh, let me go take a look at this menu. And so I looked at the menu, and you were paying anywhere from like 100 to 200 euros for like 30 grams of caviar on a potato to even like 1,000 for this. And I said, wow, that is crazy, right? Like, and this is the stuff that we love to see and that we want on the Real Housewives. Actually rich women, right? Fighting over wealth and stuff. But I don't know why, despite that being the case, I felt like it got a little ugly and mean, you know, because Dorit is going through a divorce and everything, right? And she essentially gave up her career to support her husband and everything. So the fact that Sutton knows this and she's weaponizing her money against Dorit and stuff in this way, like it felt mean. I was like, damn, not me feeling bad for Dorit. Like when she called Dorit poor Reet, I said, that is like some mean, like, you know, like that's some stuff that like some mean kids in school would say about someone. Like, how old is Sutton? Is she not like 60 something? Like, you're calling her poor Reet? Like, that is so lazy, you know? But okay. And then it gets to this part where they're sitting on a table in front of like all of these women, and half of them the girls don't know because they're Jennifer Tilly's real friends, right? To eat the caviar on the baked potatoes. And in front of everybody, Sutton says, you know, go pick on someone else whose wallet fits. And I said, oh. And she just, you know, she just kept on doubling down on calling her poor and all that. And I said, girl, that's not pizza party behavior. I see why Sutton has a problem with Dorit. Dorit has been picking at her. In fact, in this episode, she continued when Sutton started off with the water. She's like, oh, is it because of like our last confrontation with like a smirk? Obviously taunting her about the alcoholism, you know, rumors and stuff. So I get why Sutton was pissed, but I feel like there were so many things to go after Dorit for that didn't really have to do with that, you know, especially when like your money is like money that you got from a divorce, not really your own. And then Sutton goes, well, you know, I raised our kids, I did this and that, you know, so he can go out and make the money. And it's true. But at the end of the day, the amount of money you get and that you have is still dependent on him. Dorit did the same thing. She gave up her career. She raised the kids just like you did, and she's got less money. You guys didn't do anything different. It's just you both, you know, you betted on a winning horse and she didn't, right? So I don't know. I feel like Sutton's not like a Garcelle, right? A self-made person. She's not like a Bethany Frankel or anybody at Candy Burris, you know, to be bragging on money. I feel like, listen, you and Dorit both did the same thing, which was give up your career for a man and a family life. And your man just so happened to have more money. Like, what is there to brag about, right? But I digress. East says, housewife, Sutton was ready to fight on the drive to the party. Yup, but I understand Big Sut. I like that. Big Sut is tired of Dorit. To Dorit is a home wrecker. Oh, is she? Fraud and doesn't pay her bill. I'm gonna have to look that up. I had no idea. But I do know that like she and PK are known for not paying their bills. Remember when she got chased around the Bahamas in a hotel pool or whatever by that girl who said, you know, pay back the money. Oh, it's like 200,000, 300,000. Millie says, listen, I was Team Sutton last night. I find Dorit obnoxious. I want my housewives to flaunt their money and be authentic about their finances. You know, and I like people flaunting their money, but not in that way where it's just to like look down on other people, you know. She's like, Dorit would get like the cheapest caviar. I'm like, listen, paying 500 euros for the cheap one baked potato with like 30 grams of caviar on it is already a splurge, you know, like I don't know if I'm paying all that for a potato, you know, with some whatever caviar. Like that's still huge to me, right? I don't know. Abu says Sutton is classist and she thinks her upbringing makes her better than people, but she has a temperament of a 5-year-old. Plus Sutton's money is her ex's. Exactly. I agree. Like I feel like if you're self-made, go ahead, flaunt it. But if your money is just your money because of who you married, I don't know. I don't like, what is there to brag about, right? I don't know. East Awesome says Dorito is a fraud. Google her husband. Yup. And you know, that's the thing. Like we know that she and PK were like grifters and whatnot. But I don't know. Theo says, I love it when it gets ugly and mean. I did cringe a few times with the stuff Sutton said. I'm like 99% sure poor Reet was stolen from a Stan account. And I wouldn't be surprised. I was like, girl, this is not becoming of you. It's not. And I feel like she could have like called her poor or shaded her in other ways, but the way that she did it was very like elementary school bully to me anyway. I Hold My Foot says they got the wrong guy. Luigi was with me that night. Free my daddy. Damn. Let me see some of these last comments. Sutton was picking at Dorit all season from the you're not mad at. And exactly, right? And she keeps on saying you're mad at your life. You're this, you're that. Like she keeps on going really low. And the creepiest thing about it is that she keeps on going to Dorit like, come up and up to me. I'll be here to support you through your divorce. And then she throws these things in her face, right? Like obviously finances are something that a stay-at-home mom would worry about in a divorce. So now you're throwing it in her face that she could be poor, right? And then the whole you're mad at your life, like that type of stuff. When you know she's really going through it, is just very ugly behavior in my opinion. I'm sorry. Not gonna lie, Sutton has given me some comebacks to pocket for a rainy day. The ugly leather pants, but definitely not in front of cameras. We Virgos need to do better. And I agree. Listen, y'all. And I like how like mixed you guys' like feedback is on all of this, you know, because at the end of the day, we're all coming at this with like different life experiences, like different, like, I don't know, vibes as well. So it's really, really interesting to see what everybody has to say. Chances Dorit should have been gone off the show. The new black lady coming after Kathy is a no-no. Is that Boz? Did Boz really come after Kathy? I don't remember that. I think she comes after Kyle, but I don't remember her coming after Kathy. Hang on. Billy says Dorit lucked out and married the manager of Boy George. Where is Boy George anyway? Who's checking for Boy George like that? Nobody that I know, right? Sutton actually married a man who became rich, unlike Dorit, who married a scam artist. Say allegedly, they'll keep it cute. Exactly, but it's like, is it a major accomplishment or not? Like, I think you just got married, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. But anyway, oh yeah, and we already got to that. Abu, nice to see you, by the way. Caviar potatoes sounds gross. Give me your sour cream and cheese it up. And you know what's so good? Sour cream, green onion. Got me hungry and I just ate. Calm down. We have to wait. It's only 5 o'clock. Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of The Morning Report. As usual, it has been incredible to speak with you guys, spend the last hour talking about the day's hottest topic with you. Don't forget, we do go live with The Morning Report every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's already programmed for tomorrow, Friday as well. And I'll start uploading the slots that you guys can hit the bell for next week as well. Again, Kristen, I hope everything went well with your son's surgery. I'm sorry I didn't get to see your update because the chat has been moving really quickly. So now as I like cut up the clips and everything, I'm going to go back and see what sort of an update you left. And I'm hoping it's good. Take good care of yourself, you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for tomorrow's morning report. Cheers, guys. Bye.